What is up, guys? I'm CardFighter. Welcome to this week's episode of CardFighter's Thoughts. Today we're going to episode 32 of CardFight Vanguard G next. And obviously, before we begin, I'll initiate a spoiler warning. I'm going to be spoiling this episode rotten, so if you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link in the description down below, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it, okay? Alright, so to begin with, I will admit, this episode is more about advertising than anything. We still do get to learn a bit more about Kazumi in this one, and the whole defrauding process as a whole. But this one was just mainly to focus on a new support through Nobutama and Dark Irregulars. So it's probably not much story based, like as in advancing the plot, but we do get to learn a little bit of backstory as well. So just a heads up. Right. So first things first, animation. Honestly, I couldn't really find anything to nitpick about in this one. Maybe there was some stuff that I missed. Probably if you watch the episode, then let me know if I did miss anything. But as far as, like, you know, units being in the wrong area, you know, different grade 3s being ridden when it's meant to be another grade 3, or just like really odd ways of animation in general, just I couldn't really see anything, so nothing to really talk about in that area. So yeah, that's good on you, Bush Road. Right, characters. Ibuki, not Ibuki. Kazumi, or Shiranui as we know him. Shiranui or Kazumi. I'll just switch between the names, like, yeah. Kazumi, we do get to learn a lot more about him this time, and we learn that he's sort of just angry right now. In this episode, he's pretty much angry throughout the whole thing, and the reason why is, like, he's just got he can't not see any potential in human beings. Like, throughout this whole entire time, he's just demolishing people left and right. You know, Anjo, Tokuha, Shion, Rummy Labyrinth, there we go, I can speak, I swear. Just absolutely decimating all these other players, and just seeing absolutely no growth, no potential for, just no potential in humans whatsoever. And he's getting mad about this, because obviously, if you've been following the series, then you know that him and Miguel had a sort of connection, and how, like, Miguel saw this whole world as just like a world of possibilities, because as we all know, that Miguel was a unit that defrauded as a neo-Nazi unit, and we came over to the world and started living as Miguel to learn about the new world. And obviously he saw what humans could be and the potential that they had, as well as Kazumi or Shiranui. He could not see this, and right now he's getting mad, he's getting angry because he is not seeing this. And, like, the fact that he even starts shouting at Kumi because all she sees is just, it's a card fight, you're meant to have fun, you're meant to be, like, making sure the other opponent's having fun and smiling as well as you. And the fact that the fact that Kumi doesn't see the way that Kazumi sees it is angering him, and, like, all fights should be, like, to the death or something like that, and giving it a roll, actually making the fight worth something. And to Kazumi, Kumi's way of making the fight worth something isn't the same as his, and that's angering him, because, like I said, there's no potential in Kumi's fight, and he just goes around neglecting it, just, well, sort of mocking it. What's the word? So just making, just, I can't remember the word. What's the word? Insulting. That's the word. Insulting. And it's actually really hard to see, because, like, Kumi's just trying to make sure, like, she has fun in every fight, and the fact that Kazumi is just bringing her down just even lower is just really upsetting, because, like, you can see the look of fear and disappointment in her face that Kazumi is shouting at her, and, like, she just feels like she hasn't really done anything to make a difference to him. And honestly, that is really upsetting. And obviously we do get to see change throughout the episode with Kazumi, like, as he's fighting Inishi, I think it is, the Dark Irregular user. We'll get onto him in a minute. And we do get to see that he does see that there is some potential in humans. Not all humans, but a selected few, I guess, in his eyes. And it's just like, he does calm down a bit, but throughout the episode you can just see him getting angrier and angrier and angrier as, like, the episode goes on, until right at the very end, where he just realises, right, okay, so there is something there, not a lot, but okay, I'll let it slide, it's fine. But yeah, we do get to obviously learn a bit more about Kazumi throughout Miguel through the flashbacks. The only thing I'm sort of confused about is the timing of of this flashback, because like a lot how when did Shiranui's character start to change? Like did Shiranui or Kazumi start to change? Like as we saw in the first episode of CardFight Vanguard G Next, when it was Chrono versus Kazumi, we never really, like, he was already insane, so let's just say, and like he wanted to see what Chrono was worth, and that sort of, it already seemed like he was on that path to destroying like the human world, to take it over as his own. Whereas in this flashback, he seemed confused and like didn't really know what he was doing until he met Miguel. So that's sort of confusing me at the time. Like obviously it makes sense. Like if I was with Miguel, then probably this wouldn't be happening. I would be a different person. I would probably actually see the potential in humans. But because Miguel's died, we don't really like that chance for Kazumi to grow into like this nice character. It's just disappeared. So yeah, right. I've talked a lot about Kazumi. Inishi. Honestly, the two characters that were the main focus of this episode were Kazumi and Inishi. Inishi was literally the only reason he was fighting was to defend Kuni, which is honourable. Like he's defending his teammate. He's making sure that like he wants Kazumi to pay for all the things that he said to her, and I can respect that, to be honest. Like, granted, his motives. A lot of people can see his motive as weak, but honestly, I felt that was quite a strong motive. He wants to defend his friends. He wants to improve, and like he just even says it himself, like, if I'm going to be able to grow, I need to beat this guy, because sooner or later he was going to have to fight Kazumi. So yeah, good on you, Inishi. All right, moving on. The new cards for the support for the cards. Nubatama, honestly, it's insane. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Nubatama does see a lot more play now, like in the competitive meta, I guess you could say. Like, I'm not really a competitive person, but I probably will be seeing a lot more Nubatama, which is going to be great. Anyway, if you don't know, Nubatama have got a new keyword called domination. If you don't know how it works, this episode does explain it briefly, but I feel like other websites have gone into a bit more detail, but you haven't read those websites. And pretty much what it is, like you're able to take control of your opponent's units and during the main phase, and they're able to attack before the attacking phase. So say like your opponent has a rear guard in the front row, you can dominate that unit and it'll attack straight away. Again, I think they all gain like 4,000 power. Each dominated unit gains 4,000 power and is able to attack the Vanguard or any rear guard again. Basically, you're basically getting another unit, let's just say, before you start attacking. So say like you got your opponent has 2 rear guards in the front row, you dominate them. That's pretty much 2 additional attacks, which is it's quite insane, to be honest, because like the fact that you can attack the opponent before you actually and still be able to set up is just insane. Like you'd be able to like attack with these on just as you stride, because of new Shiranui, you have to stride, get a unit dominated, attack. That's already one attack before you've set up anything, and then you just like get to build up your formation, build up the power, and then just go yeah. And your opponent pretty much doesn't stand a chance unless like they have a huge hand, which we also know Nubatama is good for restricting your hand, because Nubatama likes to do that sort of stuff. Thanks, David. But yeah, honestly, I do like this new domination style of play, like this new Nubatama. It's going to be interesting. I might consider picking up a trial deck if you want. Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of like a brief explanation of domination. Obviously, I probably won't go into more detail because I'm not really that well educated in Nubatama. But that seems to be what the episode was showing us. Maybe we'll get to see more domination styles in the future, but apart from that, that's it. We do get to see a bit more darkness. Darkness now has or Dark Irregulars now have a restanding Vanguard, which is going to be fun, Yay. But honestly, the new darkness stuff and Dark Irregular stuff, nothing really to complain about. It's got good support. You're getting a new Charlotte Vampire, grade 3. Get a restanding Vanguard. You get new stuff that powers up through its card in the soul, and gets draw power. I don't really see why Dark Raiders are getting draw power, considering the soul charge so much that you probably go deck out quite fast. But hey ho, maybe I'm not a Dark Raider player, so maybe you can find ways of playing around that. I don't know. So yeah, that sort of wraps it up for the support. Music wise, unfortunately nothing to talk about really, just nothing special like last episode. But yeah, one thing I do like to talk about is one thing I did forget to talk about is I think I don't know if this is like for every unit, but from what it looks like, every time a unit is defries or goes to the human world, they have a sort of drawback, which sort of like restricts them in some way. Like with Miguel, he had bad luck, and I believe that's his drawback. And with Shiranui or Kazumi, as we all know him, it's his ability to not win rock paper scissors. Like he even says it in the episode. Ever since he's came to this human world, he's lost every single game rock paper scissors. So maybe that's his drawback. So that sort of like brings up the theories like, so does every unit have a sort of drawback? And like, does that mean like Chaos Break has a drawback because since he's in the human world now, does he have a drawback? And how sinister is it? Because like, obviously like these can range from like quite like I don't know little situations to like massive situations like Miguel, and he literally died because of his bad luck, pretty much. So that's quite scary. Like maybe like the units are taking a risk to sort of explore this new world, and then taking that risk, see if they get a really bad drawback or just a minor drawback. I don't know. Like, but that seems to be the thing that's going on. Like maybe Amaruda had the drawback of having bad luck as well, because as you can see in the episode with her and Tayo, she got hit by that broken flag, so maybe that she has bad luck as well. I don't know. And I think what was it, Doomjid, his music constantly keeps breaking, like all his stuff keeps constantly breaking, so I don't know, like it would be interesting to develop on that sort of theory. I don't know, maybe in future episodes, but that is sort of what's going on, I think. So yeah, is there anything else I need to talk about? Don't know really. Sorry if I've been rambling on and mumbling a bit in this episode. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like, comment down below. I know I talked about a Murakumo deck for a while, but I want to make sure that it's complete before I release it. So I need to get like one or two more cards to complete it. Also, we'll be doing a gold paladin deck profile soon, because I just need about 4 more cards for it, which should be quite easy to get, to be honest. So look forward to those in the near future. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!